Lunch break. Oh, why is my chair so squeaky? So that game that you just saw is Kaos Kards. And it was made for the Viral Glitch Game Jam. A game jam hosted by GX Games and GameMaker, where participants had 2 weeks to make a game following the theme Predictably Unpredictable. So I got my good friend Felx as well as Nodex, because they wanted to be there, into a voice call where we started to brainstorm game ideas. Just a heads up, this was recorded at around 9 p.m, so some of us might sound a bit tired.
Septic syphilic sodomy inside the infected maggot-infested womb of a molested nun dying under a roof of a burning church, while a priest watches and
What are you
ejaculates
saying,
intense
Odex?
perverse pleasure over
You don't have
his
to read it
first
out.
fetus. This guy definitely has one tortilla.
Oh, folks, you did see the game jam theme for the GameMaker thing, right?
I read it and forgot.
Predictably Unpredictable.
What if we make a game and it's advertised as Deltarune and then it's Undertale?
Okay, hear me out, right? It's a card game, but everything is random. All the
No.
card moves are random.
No,
Wait, no, he's onto something. Come on,
no,
Angel.
no.
It'll tell you what it does, but to the effect it does it is random.
No, come up with a different idea.
No, he's cooking. He's cooking. Let him cook. Let him cook.
So you know what it does, so it's predictable, but it's also unpredictable because you don't know how well it's gonna work because it's random.
Kind of like the misprint from Balatro.
We're not making Balatro. But
No, I know, but
random.
I'm describing it as the misprint from Balatro. I like to say
Okay,
that.
I've got a great
What
game idea.
strategy- You?
Yep, I've got a great idea. Okay,
None
so
of this-
the
none
game
of this
says
development.
avoid the red area. But
Are
then
you
actually
reading
have to
from
go in the red area.
ChatGPT? Bro didn't even create the idea. Get out of here. So with a game idea in mind, we got to work. So for the first 2 days, we played Deltarune. Yeah. So let me tell you all about Deltarune. So overall, the chapters were peak. So yeah, for the first 2 days, we didn't really do anything. But on day 3, I actually did get But on day 3, I did get started on the game. We didn't really have an idea for how the gameplay was going to turn out. So all I really did on day 1 was work on the card system. We didn't do that much on the first couple days, so I'm just going to skip ahead a bit. At this point, we already had a good idea of how the game was going to turn out. So how the game mainly worked is that you would have 3 action slots as well as 3 sets of dice. Each of the slots correspond to each of the dice. So for example, slot 1 is affected by dice 1. Slot 2 is affected by dice 2. And these action slots can only hold action cards. On top of that, each card has a range. So for example, a card could have a range between 1 and 6 or 1 and 10. So at the end of your turn, the card will pick between its range and then add itself to the dice it's tied to. So for example, if a card has a range between 1 and 6 and it gets a 3 and the dice it's tied to rolls a 6, the total value of the card will be 9, and that is how well it will perform during the game. So the higher the number, the better it does, the lower the number, the worse it does. But that's not all the player has available. You're also given a special slot. These special slots can only hold 2 types of cards. The first type being dice cards. Dice cards are cards that affect, well, the dice, such as letting you re-roll the dice, adding to a random dice value, or even changing one of your dice to a 20-sided dice to help you roll better. The other type of cards are Chaos Cards. Chaos Cards are cards that are, well, chaotic. They can affect everyone in the game. A good example of a Chaos Card is the Deck Wrecker. The Deck Wrecker destroys 1 card from the enemy's and player's hand. This can both help you or really hurt you, depending on which card is destroyed. Now that's the setup process of the game. The real battle happens in the chaos. The chaos is where all the cards are played. The order of which the cards are placed are always chaos cards first. If both the player and the enemy placed chaos cards, whoever goes first is completely random. Then, action cards go after the chaos card. Action cards will always be placed in the order of their slot. So slot 1 will go first, then slot 2, then slot 3. During chaos, the goal is to drop your enemy's health to 0. But damage isn't the only thing you can do. There are other cards like the defense card that gives you temporary HP that only lasts till the end of the battle, as well as a healing card that, well, heals you. And speaking of enemies, we need to design some. So with the help of somebody who I met in the GX Games Discord server, Warsun, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, we designed the first enemy the player will ever face. Dog the Duck. Dog the Duck is a very basic enemy. Most of his cards are the same cards that you have, such as the defense card, slash card, and heal card. But Dog has 2 cards that the player has yet to see. The first card being an action card called the bread card. This card shoots 3 slices of bread at the enemy, dealing lots of damage. And the other card is a chaos card called the swoop card. The swoop card is basically a coin flip. It chooses between the player and the enemy. And once it chooses, it throws a piece of bread at the target that causes a swarm of birds to attack them, causing lots of damage. Now, Dog isn't that smart. Matter of fact, all the enemies in the game are not that smart. I did want to program a smart AI to make the game challenging, but to save time on that, they have no AI. How they choose their cards is that they just randomly pick a card within their deck and play it. So sometimes they make stupid plays, and sometimes they make brilliant plays. You could say it adds to the unpredictability. So that's 1 enemy done, but we need 4 more enemies. So me and Felx started brainstorming for who could be an enemy in the game. So Felx thought it would be funny if we added Nodex into the game and not tell Nodex. So we made a character based off Nodex called Angel the Teen. His win victory sprite is literally traced over him. It's great. Now, like Dog, all the enemies in the game will have 2 unique cards, 1 action card and 1 chaos card. Now, I'm not going to go through each enemy and tell you what cards they use, so instead I'm just going to tell you the enemies we created. The third enemy you will have to face is Buggy the Bug. Buggy the Bug is, well, a bug. He was done by me, and yes, he was inspired by the SpongeBob cockroach. The fourth enemy the player will have to face is Alan the Alien. Alan the Alien is just a silly little guy who of course has a giant fucking laser. Now, the fifth and final enemy of Chaos Cards is Beer the Pickle. Now, Beer being the final enemy that you face, he uses all the cards in the game. That includes Chaos Cards and Action Cards. Now, we wanted to make it so that after you defeat the enemy, you inherit all of their cards as well as a bonus dice card to help you in the upcoming matches. So, after defeating Beer the Pickle, what do you earn? Well, of course, you earn all the cards he has that you don't. You also receive a very special IOU because we didn't design that many cards. And with that, the game is basically done. Now, all that's left is to actually program the cards and enemies to work, which took me a while, but I managed and was able to finish the gameplay. So I started adding some extra things, such as a main menu, volume control, allowing the player to pause, and a tutorial so that the player knows what the hell they're doing. Now, we had a lot of ideas for a lot of cards, such as a card that maybe disables one of your slots, or a mirror card that reflects all incoming damage. But sadly, most of these had to get scrapped due to programming issues, which, I'll be honest, is my fault entirely. The programming for this game is horrible. I just went with the first solution that came up to my head, and it was literally the worst solution I think possible. How the attacks mainly worked is that in one card, you will have a string of what attack it wants to do. Then the attack card does a switch statement where you have to put in the string that you put in for the card and then put the action you want to do. But wait, it's different for the player and enemy side. So I just copy and pasted the switch statement to the enemy attack card. But the function is different because for this one, it's the player slash attack, and for this one, it's the enemy slash attack. So adding in a new attack is just a whole hassle. And it's just bad. It's just really bad. But at least I was able to finish the game. The day before the game is due, an unknown error appeared. I had no idea what was causing this issue. The issue is that the music kept getting louder every time you made it to the main menu. And not only that, every time you paused, the music would just blast at full volume. It was bad. The game jam ended early in the morning the next day, and it was around like 11 p.m. and I was tired. So I went to bed and woke up extremely early to be able to fix this issue. I had to reprogram the music system from the ground up because, again, I'll be honest, my programming is not great. So I reprogrammed it and I was able to submit it an hour before the deadline. And after submitting, all we could really do is wait to see who the winners are. Overall, I had a lot of fun participating in this game jam. And I got a cool game out of it too. A game that I actually want to keep building onto. We have a bunch of ideas to add to the game, such as multiplayer, mobile exports, and so much more. But all of that will be saved for the next devlog of Kaos Kards. So until next time, all we could really do is wait to see the results of the game jam. So in a week or two, we're gonna see if we won any of the sections, which I think I forgot to mention have cash prizes. The sections are as following: 3 audience favorites, 3 jury's wild picks, and of course, the top 3 winners of the entire game jam. So in a couple of weeks, we're gonna see if we won any of these at all. Will our game win anything? Will it win the entire game jam? Tune in next time. We lost. So this video actually took a lot longer than I expected. So long, in fact, that the winners were already announced like a week ago. We didn't win anything. We didn't win the audience favorite. We didn't win the jury's wild picks. And we didn't make the top 3. So yeah, we didn't win anything at all. But even though we didn't win, I don't think this game jam was a total loss. Because game jams aren't about winning. They're about making a game. And that is what we did. We made a game in 2 weeks. And not just any game, but a game that we love and want to keep building onto. So even though we didn't win the game jam, I'm still so glad we participated in it and got an amazing game out of it too.